This is the More to Life Than Money podcast. Real people, real stories, real conversations about wealth and abundance with your host, J.W. Rayhans.
Welcome, everybody, back to the More to Life Than Money podcast. Today is just an exciting conversation that we're going to get to have. I hope that you're ready. And, you know, one of the things that I really enjoy about the More to Life Than Money podcast is we have a variety of different guests. And in some cases, these guests are like your quiet champions in society, the people that are just pouring into others, they're leading others, they're empowering others, they're mentoring others. And today we have the special guest who has poured into so many people's lives throughout her career, has an outstanding background, and I hope all of you will just enjoy this casual conversation that we get to have here this morning with Lalitha Immaneni and really look at what has allowed her to shape her life, form her life, but do it in a way that just pours into the hearts of other people. You are in for a treat. So welcome to the More Than Life Than Money podcast. Lalitha, thank you for joining us here this morning.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
I am very excited for us to chat this morning. And even up front, I just have this feeling that there's going to be so many people, not just women. And so for you guys that are listening, like lock in and really pay attention, because whether you have a spouse, whether you have daughters, whether you just have women in your life, this is going to be extremely informative and probably very helpful. And then for you ladies that are listening, I just cannot wait for you to hear some of the things that are going to be shared throughout our conversation this morning. And so that being said, I would like to start with a bit of more of kind of a heritage type question. And for you, Lalitha, this Indian American heritage is so important. Can you help us understand what does that mean to you? What does it mean to you? What's the importance of your Indian American heritage?
If you ask my kids, they'll tell you we are Americans. But I actually moved to this country in 1989. I did my bachelor's in computer science back home. I'm from South India. My mom was a professor. Dad was a criminal lawyer. And I'm an engineer, probably one of the very few in the family. They were either medical professionals or more towards teaching.
Okay.
And I came here to pursue my master's in computer science and then made a life here. I'm married 36 years to somebody that also worked for the same company that I do, Intel. I mean, I think when you come from a different country, you bring some amount of the struggles that we had, some amount of resilience, some amount of patience, right? And some amount of hunger.
Okay.
I think I still remember when I was looking for a job, the primary goal was never I should be, this is my 5-year career path, 10-year career path. The first thought was, I need a job.
Yeah.
I need a job. I need a green card, right? That was important.
Right. There were some basic things that had to be accomplished first. Thing.
And there is also that hunger because you are different, right? You're different. You come from a different culture. But ultimately, as I made a home here, I noticed that a lot of the friends that, I grew up with here in this country that are from here, fundamentally, we are all the same.
Yeah.
And the value systems are the same. The caring and the sharing, it's still the same everywhere.
Yeah.
I think I tend to keep some of the good things that I remember, that I grew up with, right? For my parents, education was extremely important. Though I was a girl and there were very few of us in engineering, it was important that I did well in school, right? And independent.
Yeah.
Always extremely independent. Particularly my mom, she insisted on being true to yourself.
Okay.
So what you think is what you say. There is no need to put on a facade to accomplish something in life. So I think those kind of value systems, they still remain with me, and hopefully I imparted it to my family.
Well, I would imagine that you have, and
So-
I'm looking forward to us talking about that. I want to highlight just a few things that you shared there already, because here's where I hope that especially some of the people that are listening, they're already taking notes, because you've given us some insight to like some foundational things that have really allowed you to experience life the way that you have, even when you talk about that hunger and that there was almost a need for it when you came to the US, in recognizing, there's some things that are different, but you also mentioned there's common threads as well.
A lot
When it
of
comes to
common
kindness
threads.
and caring,
Yeah.
those are common threads. But let me ask you, you mentioned pursuing engineering was different. Pursuing engineering, even for a woman, was different. So take us back in time a little bit to those beginning times of pursuing engineering. What led to your choice to pursue engineering, and why was it difficult? Why was it hard? Why was it different to pursue engineering versus something else?
Yeah, so I actually wanted to be a criminal lawyer because
did?
my dad was
Like
a
your
criminal
dad,
lawyer, and he would actually deal with very violent cases.
Okay.
And for some reason, I would actually look at the pictures, and he would talk about the cases, and we were kids, and it was okay. But when I told them that I want to pursue a career in criminal law, the first thing was not a woman. It's not. The criminal law was, particularly the cases he dealt with, were not good. And he goes, I'm not going to let my daughter do it. And then I said, then what? Then I'm like, okay, the next thing I like is math. I was extremely fond of math. So then I said, okay, can I go to engineering? But that's the fundamental difference. Here, one thing that I do appreciate in this country is you are encouraged to follow your path. Right? Your parents don't set you on multiple roads that you got to be this, you got to be that. It's kids make those choices, and I think that freedom is very, very appealing in this country. And I think when you are here, you should know that that's a privilege you have.
Thank you for highlighting that. And that is something that I hope that we capture is what are some of these variances, if you will, that we kind of take for granted. I say we here in the U.S., we take for granted because that's just the way we grew up. That's just the way we were raised. And you're helping us highlight, here's some reasons that you can pursue the things that you want to pursue, but it's because it's been encouraged that way.
Yeah.
You weren't set a certain direction. It was encouraged to explore, to discover what you're great at, what you enjoy doing, and then go down that path. Yeah. And there you also highlighted that you found some things that you enjoy. So originally in criminal justice, but then being directed a little bit differently and going, no, I kind of like math too. And so exploring that as well. And so this is where I'd like, especially maybe if you're just at a point in life where you're kind of determining where do you want to go next? What's in front of you? Just take a moment here and write down what are some of the things that you enjoy? What do you find that you're great at? And how would you really capture this freedom to pursue what you want to pursue? So let's pick up the story from there, Lalitha.
So then, of course, I went into math. I did my bachelor's in computer science. It was appealing to me because it's math. There is algorithms which are heavily directed towards math. And then I did a very small internship in India, but then my path was here.
Okay.
Very few of us in engineering college. But it was okay, though. It was okay.
Yeah.
Now it actually is I'm very happy to see the amount of women that grow in engineering.
Yeah.
All across the world, just not in US, even in India, right?
Yeah.
I see that and it is happy. But of course, I don't look at the data that much. I get so busy with my job. But then I do see that sometimes the numbers are dwindling. Because when we go try to recruit people, most of the resumes that we get, we see very few women in some of these areas.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Because do you feel like it's accurate for me to observe maybe about, I'm going to say 10 to 15 years ago, it seemed like there was this push for more women to get into engineering or some of the STEM fields. And then it's almost like it cycled through a trend where there was a time period where that was highly encouraged, and then it kind of faded out over the last few years. Is that accurate to say that maybe that's been a bit of a trend?
I think a lot of women migrate towards, nursing, more caregiving, right? Medical field, and which is okay, by the way. There are various paths, whatever you're happy you need to do it.
Yep.
But I think there has to be a little bit of a grassroots movement to get young girls encouraged in STEM, encouraged in pursuing engineering. I think it is very critical. By the way, if everybody looks the same, thinks the same, you will not see any innovation.
We
right?
wouldn't. We would not.
If you and I work on a project and we are in sync all the time, you might deliver a decent product, by the way, which I'm sure, because, we are not arguing, we are in sync. But if you throw somebody else with a different perspective, it will get rocky for a bit, but trust me, that diversity of opinion, I'm not talking about gender at all, just the diversity of opinion makes it will push each other.
Yeah.
And it will bring innovation.
Absolutely.
So from that perspective, I think, whether it's an industry or any other business venture, you really want to have a team that thinks and operates differently. The make of the team should be like a rainbow.
This is what's exciting about this is that when you do encourage, when you bring in that diversity of thought, that diversity of background, that is where the greatest innovation happens. And so as we think about this, and this is where, again, for any of you that are listening, Lalitha has experienced a tremendous amount of success, and we haven't talked a lot about that, but the reality is you have. And not just professionally, but in various areas of your life. And when you can surround yourself, when you can bring in people around you and you find ways to work together, that is a success habit. That is something that leads to greater success than when you try to do things on your own or simply pave your own path by yourself. Is who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you bringing into your circle? Yeah. And even through some of the volunteer things that you've done is where you've encouraged this diversity into your circle. So let me just ask this. And by the way, feel welcome to share whatever you'd like in terms of the success that you've experienced. Yeah. You have, I'm painting a picture for anyone listening to see that there is a success pattern in what you've experienced in your life. And you, even professionally, you have a high level position with the organization that you're with. It doesn't come without work. It doesn't come without effort. It doesn't come without risk. And so when you think about that path and what it's looked like for you, what are some things that you would share that have either been very challenging along your path, some that have been very rewarding along your path? Yeah. So if you had somebody sitting with you and you're kind of mentoring them and they're like, okay, so what's it look like? Yeah. What are some of the greatest challenges and what are some of the greatest rewards that you've experienced?
So when I joined the company I work with, Intel, long time back, I'm actually in the back end. It's called assembly. Again, there were very few women, right? But the company actually encourages anybody that wants to pursue different paths. The blessing I had is I come from a very hardcore computer science software background.
Okay.
And the organization I got a job in was not that. What I was doing is probably 1% criticality for the bigger organization. So then there was a point in my career where I go, should I stay or should I go somewhere else? Okay. Right? Maybe I go to, and I actually had a fantastic offer.
So there was a decision point there.
The company was big. It's very big now. But what I remember talking to my then manager and saying, all right, I'm at a crossroads. I don't know if I feel like I hit it, right? And by the way, I was not even a director level at that point. And I'm like, I feel like I hit the ceiling. Do I go back to my comfort zone, which is writing software, and go to software companies? And because there is higher chance of me moving up there than here. Yeah. Because I'm very unique in my skill set.
Yeah.
And he said, I want you to make that your advantage.
Wow.
He said, you're different, you're unique, you're not manufacturing, you don't know some of the areas that we constantly worry about, but you have been watching it. So in the area of design where you are actually laying out, right, you see a microprocessor chip and the packaging, but it all comes through CAD tools, like AutoCAD, and we use Cadence, all kinds of tools. And he said, you are watching your customers do the work. What kind of efficiency can you bring in? He goes, I wouldn't even want you to leave at this point because I see the potential. Why don't you try for a few years?
Yeah.
And come tell me what kind of efficiencies can you bring in to make the organization better. And that is one thing I always tell women that come and talk to me about career advice, right? I don't want women to play the women trump card. I'm very serious about it. Don't ever go say, I'm a woman, there are only few of us, so give me an opportunity. That will never work. Anything that comes out of sympathy and pity is not going to work. It's not good for you, right? So maybe that was my lesson number one, I would say, where I said, all right, I need to articulate a data that I can sell to this person that, hey, I come with a different background, but I've been observing rest of you, particularly the design community that I work with. If I get you like 20, 30% efficiency, do things faster, there you go. That's my pitch, right?
Yeah.
So that took a little bit of a time, and that's how I started going in that direction.
Yeah.
Then
can I pause the story here for a moment? Because Lalitha, there's some things that you're sharing in there that I think are important for anyone listening to really kind of hang on to. And it started with you mentioning this decision point. So you had an opportunity. An opportunity came to you where you could have left Intel, you could have left the organization you were with and go to another organization that seemingly on the surface looked more down the pathway that was going to add to your likelihood of success or growing or continuing to progress. And less pain, right? Yeah, and less pain. And instead, you at least had the mental capacity to go, I'm going to ask my manager, I'm going to ask for some guidance on this, I'm going to ask for some mentorship on this. And the encouragement there was, how can you use this uniqueness to your advantage? And so I want to highlight that, in that somebody listening is probably going to be in a situation where they're up against a decision as well. Where can they think about, how does my uniqueness become an advantage? Where it may not be the easiest pathway, but it could lead to some greater success.
And you also pull people like you into the fold.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You make others like me stay too.
Right. So let's fast forward the story from there. So you decide to stay.
I decided to stay, of course.
And then what happens after that?
Then in few years, I actually got the job. I managed the design organization, and I did have to learn quite a few, right? I mean, I had to learn some fundamental aspects.
Is that where some of that hunger came back in?
I was also young then. So it was easy to stay up until 2, and if people didn't give you the time of the day, you're like, please help me. Now I would be like, yeah, right. Right. So I think there is that hunger. I think the need to succeed, I think. And then, of course, I managed the design organization, and as I started demonstrating my worth and giving some impact, of course, my scope grew. But then again, throughout the journey, I have to say, I had fantastic coaches and mentors.
Wow.
And a lot of them men.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of them men. That kind of gave me the time of day and said, all right, if you want to go pick this up for me, I need you to demonstrate this.
Yeah.
And I would never go say, give me the job. Right? I would say,
I'm hearing that as a theme.
What do I need to learn? But at the same time, not coming from the place of weakness, because I have to digress a little bit.
Please.
Sometimes when I open recs, women apply, right? So you see a complete contrast. Typically, people come in and say, I'm the right one for this job, right? I'm the right one for this job. Look at my history, look at my experience. I got the technical chops. Maybe there is a little bit of difference here, but I can nail it. Let me do it. Right? Most of the women come and then they say, I know I'm not a perfect fit for this job. When you start a pitch like this, you think you'll get a job?
Yeah, there's not
if
a lot of confidence
I'm not the right person for it, but give me a chance, I will work hard. And I think you got to get some balance in there, right? If you are good at organizational skills, if you have discipline, if you have some technical chops, because every job that you want to look for, you will never be 100% match, right? So there is some learning curve. There is some, there are people that need to trust you. It's not that easy anyway. But I think confidence needs to show first.
Yeah.
Not arrogance and overconfidence, right?
No, that makes sense. In fact, there's a bit of a pattern that you mentioned in your success, and I hope I worded it the way that you worded it, because you mentioned as you showed the impact that you could have, your scope increased.
Right.
So in other words, as you were increasing the value you were producing, it was getting recognized. Therefore, your scope of responsibility continued to increase. And that is something worth mentioning, because then it's not you asking for the next job. It's you showing that you're capable of the next job. And then you mentioned you had some great mentors and coaches that then helped guide through that as well.
Ask for help, always. I tell people.
I hear that in you of there is a bit of confidence in really what is it you're pursuing, what is it you're going after, show in ways of creating value, learning, hunger. And then as it's getting recognized, you'll start to see your scope and your impact continue to increase.
And by the way, not out of 10 people that you ask for help, 8 will say no.
Yeah.
Not because
you got to be able to handle the no.
Not because they are mean or they don't like you. It's not about you. They're probably 200% busy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a great
reminder.
reminder.
Somebody, mentoring somebody is a give and take. The amount of work you put in as a mentee, I put in the same work as a mentor. So lots of times, even I do it. Sometimes I look at a person and they talk to me and I go, I might not be the right person. I don't know your area. Just me having a cup of coffee and making you feel better is not mentoring, by the way.
Yeah.
Mentoring and coaching implies at the end of few years, you both have accomplished something.
Yeah.
That there is a role that opened up. There is a skill set that you learned. You learned how to maybe manage your manager or work with a peer, whatever it is. It has to be, I tell people, it's like a contract. You need to negotiate. You need to have an end goal. It's not about you coming to me and saying, I had a bad day, and I go, let me buy you a cup of coffee. Let me make you feel better. That's not mentoring and coaching.
Yeah.
You need a buddy then.
Yeah.
Mentoring and coaching is different.
Well, can I thank you for distinguishing that? Because I think what you're helping with there is a bit of a generational difference in what mentoring and coaching really looks like. And sometimes we run into this, don't we? Especially in the workplace where there's words or phrases that mean different things to different people depending on how it was used when you were brought up in school. And mentoring and coaching can be one of those. And at least I've noticed, and you can let me know whether this seems accurate or not, but that sometimes now this distinguished nature that you gave of the difference between having a cup of coffee from time to time, but where there's actual true progress and growth.
Exactly.
So mentoring and coaching leaves evidence. This genuine mentoring and coaching is longer term. There's multiple interactions. There's true growth that you see happening for both people.
Exactly.
It's not just one-sided either. And where now I think there's such this desire for mentoring, especially amongst some of our younger workers or people coming out of school, that they're looking for mentors, but maybe we don't always know what they're actually asking for. And there is that difference. So thanks for making that way to distinguish what does mentoring and coaching look like? Where do you see the evidence that has been a healthy relationship along the way to show that growth over time? And here again, this is where our listeners can get great value out of this, is whether you know someone or not, you can write down a list of names of people. In fact, I would encourage all of you to do this. Write down a list of maybe 5 people, whether you know them yet or not, but that you believe that they could be a great mentor to you. And then start to think about what would be the growth that you'd want to see. What are the conversations you'd want to have? And then maybe you can have the confidence to try to somehow build a connection and introduction towards that person, and then see where it develops from there. But it does have to be an effort from both people.
It has to be an effort. And by the way, the reason why I mentor and coach, it's to give back. It's a path forward, but on a selfish end, it's like you as a leader being put in front of a mirror. I tell you what. Yeah. Because if you say, was that helpful? How did you do? After the trust grows, initially they'll tell you you're fantastic. Right?
Yeah.
But then after some point, as they get comfortable, they'll tell you. So one habit that I had, is a funny story, is in meetings, if I know you're going away from the direction I want you to go, or I think you're taking the wrong approach. I might not verbally communicate that to you, but my facial expressions would show it. Like I would raise one eyebrow, right? I would raise one eyebrow. And this mentee of mine once told me that you freeze people out. Because the person that was trying to do a pitch or trying to give a update on a project is now stuck in the tracks because they look at you and you are raising one eyebrow. And
they caught it.
Not where I want you to be is basically what I'm telling them, right? So as you ask people that, how am I doing? What do you think? You are also learning some things from it.
Absolutely.
And the best part about growing people is we are all humans as leaders. And you cannot pick up additional scope unless there is somebody else that is ready to pick up the baton.
Yeah. Did y'all catch that? So for those of you that are in a position where maybe you are mentoring others, be reminded, like, this is a great way for you to grow. This is a great way to have an opportunity to, as you mentioned, look in the mirror and really get that honest feedback, because we're all human. We all have areas that we can improve. And sometimes when you build that trust with a mentee, they will share that feedback with you. And in this case, that helped you as a leader, because then you realized this is how I maybe help causing someone to get stuck, because they're recognizing a feature of mine, a tell, if you will, in the poker world. That's what they call it. It's a tell. And so
it's a limitation, by the way.
Can I ask you, and this might actually be where we almost integrate a little bit of the conversation around positive pathways, if you'd like. But and without disclosing any names, but necessarily, what are some of the stories where you did get to be a mentor for someone, you did get to see the growth that happened in their life, and what did that mean for you? And if you would, share what it meant for them, but also share what it's meant for you. And let's just see where that part of the conversation takes us, because this has been instrumental in your path as well.
Yeah, no, I tell Maria Hesse and Imelda, who actually dragged me into this, Imelda did, and I tell them that you saved me during COVID. Because I was paired with a mentee, and she went through a lot of horrible things in life. We'll leave it at that. And she was kind of figuring out what she needs to do. Her grades were good. She was going into ASU. And that's kind of the time where I was paired up with her. And, there is financial burden. There is all kinds of issues going on. And one thing that I noticed with that particular mentee of mine is I actually tell her that you're going to rule the world and one day we'll all be working for you.
Wow.
Because
what encouragement.
Very tenacious and hungers and takes feedback to heart. She now has a degree in electrical engineering from ASU. She actually works in Seattle.
So this is only a few years later. We're not talking about a long time period here from the time that you and I are recording this.
And she now works for Keysights, I think. She's an account manager. And I'll tell you what, and I told her, she said, you helped me. I said, no. I said, during COVID, when you're isolated, right? We work from home, a lot of other things happen in life. And I said, I had a purpose. I had work, but then I had you.
Oh, wow.
Right? And
what a gift.
There are a lot of things that I learned that I am worried about stupid stuff in life. And then I'm watching this girl that is going through. I remember, because when you are part of these voluntary organizations, you really cannot help them out of your own pocket, right?
Yeah.
You have to be very ethical. The only thing I got her was 2 dumbbells.
Really?
Because she said she cannot work out. And she said, I'm getting tired. I don't know how to work out. And I said, go to ASU gym. And she goes, I don't have time. I'm taking so many courses. So I had actually some of my colleagues that tutored her.
Really?
That helped her when she was kind of saying, I don't know what this is.
And you helped bring that together for her.
I did, yeah.
Wow.
And it was okay. It was my pleasure to do that.
Yeah.
Because she was deep electrical, and I said, well, I'm write software for a living. So I said, let me get you somebody to help you out.
Yeah.
Right? And then I remember just buying that in Amazon, it was nothing. It's like $9, right? 2 dumbbells. And I remember the call that I had with her a week later, and she's in tears. She said, this was great because now I'm studying and I'm also doing simple things.
You
like
recognized the meaning it was going to have for her, though.
It is. I'm telling you. And I think we don't realize my kids use that for DoorDash, what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I realized is when she moved into Seattle, she calls me and then she says, can you go on the FaceTime? And I go,
oh, yeah.
Right now? I said, I just got up. I said, I just got up. And she goes, no, turn the video on. I'm like, all right, okay. And she's skipping around and she said, this is my first apartment that I rented.
Oh my gosh.
I could never afford an apartment. And I am thinking, this is worth, like, more than anything else, even being a speck of dust in her journey. Because you have to realize, mentoring is a two-way street. If the other person does not take your help, there's no point.
Yeah.
I can do 120%. It really doesn't matter. It's really on her, the resiliency, the hunger, whatever help we gave her, she actually utilized it.
Yeah, she sure did. Can I, if any of you are listening to the audio of this, come back, watch the video version. Lalitha, I want everyone to see your expressions as you're walking back through the relationship and the mentor relationship that you had with this gal. Can I just ask you this? So I want us to just have a more of a private moment. Ignore the cameras and the microphones. If she was sitting in my seat right across from you, what are the things you would tell her that you're proud of her for?
Oh, I would thank her, first of all, for the resiliency that she showed, right? She was working in an Apple store.
Yeah.
I think these are the ones that set up your iPads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She was doing that. She was going to school full time. In an area, she had a business degree, I think, before.
Okay.
Or went some classes. And then she's doing electrical engineering, which is a completely different area.
Yes, it is.
And to do all that. And by the way, I have never seen her break down in front of me. This is amazing. My son says she's my kid.
Yeah.
He says my mom has 3 kids. And
how's that feel when your son says
fantastic.
that? Yeah.
It is fantastic, right? And I would actually thank her for giving me an opportunity to, even if I did, by the way, this is 0.1%. It's all her. And I would actually thank her for giving me the opportunity to be part of her life.
Wow. That's amazing.
And she pays it forward, by the way.
Does she?
She pays it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that piece of just...
I'm still in touch with her.
Yeah.
Which is nice, yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
I hope she watches this. I hope she gets a chance to see this and watch this.
She was there in Positive Paths because last year I won an award in Positive Paths. And she
Tell
was
us
the
about
one.
that award, by the way. Please share what it was, because this is a distinguished award, and you have this great just calmness about you, especially in your achievements. But I'd like to ask you to share, what was that award that you received?
This was basically for the work I did with Positive Paths. So they have an yearly recognition, and I won that. And she came down from Seattle.
Did she? Yeah.
And she actually she handed me the award.
Oh my goodness. What did that mean for her to present the award to you?
She was emotional and so was I. But both of us said we are not going to cry on the stage, right?
Yep.
Whatever it is away from the stage. And very, very proud of her.
Yeah.
Very proud of her.
Yeah.
Very proud of her. And the thing is, it's really heartwarming when she calls and she says, hey, do you need any help? And for me, I think that's the ultimate achievement, right?
Yeah.
For her to come back and say, hey, it looks like you're too busy. You need to take a break, go work out. What do you need? Can I help you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, this is like
Well,
That's the
it shows
ultimate.
how well she knows you as well. It goes back to what you talked about in that mentoring and coaching relationship of what that truly looks like is where you do get to know each other that well, that you can kind of read each other's signs. And then her giving the ultimate compliment of saying, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Where can I be of service to you?
It can be transactional,
Yeah.
by the way. A lot of people, particularly in the path of business and career,
Yeah.
particularly there, people think it's transactional. It's not. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
You both have to matter to each other.
Yeah.
It's not crossing the boundaries, but knowing fully well that, hey, and a lot of times, I myself, as an example, I had a coach, and 6 months down the road, it was a mutual thing that, hey, this is not working out, right? You're not able to help me. I'm not able to, I don't see your point of view. So call it a day.
It's okay then.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And then what the other person did was, he said, you know what, knowing you for 6 months, this other person might be better.
Wow.
Let me write a note to that person and go, and that worked out very well.
Yeah.
Right. And also the mentees themselves, sometimes it's okay for them to say, not working out.
Yeah.
Just because you are a leader or a VP, you can't tag along when nothing is coming out of it.
That's right. Yeah. Position is not what's important in that relationship. And I think that's what you're highlighting for us to be reminded of, is that that's not what makes the relationship important. It's the way that you're able to serve one another.
Yeah.
And I actually want to let's see if we can make a bit of a shift in our conversation. If you were to just give us the quick version of life today versus life 25 years ago, 30 years ago, how would you paint that picture for us, for you? How is life today? What are some of the things that are important to you today? And how is that different from where you were 30 years ago?
30 years ago, I was young.
Right.
So probably I was important to me. Right? It was my career. How do I stay here? How do I make more money? It was more that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was also a passion of proving myself, but it was much more centric towards the small nucleus, right? It's me, it's my family.
Sure.
If I do really good at job, and that's great.
That's
right?
understandable.
But I think as I grow, if I look back, I realize that behind every success I had, there is a team.
Really?
There is my team.
Tell us more about that.
So I have people that have been working for me for 17, 18 years, which is probably rare.
That's incredible.
I have a guy, actually 25 years.
Yeah?
He was my intern.
Really?
Right? He's been with me forever. And I noticed that whenever I take on something that is high risk, there's my crew.
Yeah, they're right there with you, aren't they?
They're right there. It's just not me anymore. So I realized that it's just not about me. It's about my team.
Yeah.
It's about the organization, right?
Sure.
It's not about driving them hard to just get things done, but also making sure that I take care of them.
Yeah. I want to dive into this a little bit, because there are a lot of people that listen that are leaders in a variety of different respects, not just professionally, but personally in their lives. What do you feel? Because there's a story there, Lalitha, there is a story there as to why you have a team and you have some people that have been very, very loyal with you. And so I'm going to ask you to share a little bit of insight into yourself.
Yeah.
What do you believe has helped create that, to where you do have these people that are very loyal to you? They've stuck with you. They've gone through the hard projects, the great projects, the restructure, whatever has come up, and they've stayed with you. What do you feel has led to that kind of loyalty?
One is mutual respect.
Okay.
Respect is very important. And second is empowering them.
Ah.
Their voice matters.
Empowering them, and their voice matters.
Their voice matters. Because you might, this is another problem, is lot of times technical leaders like me, because we do have technical background. So we think we know everything.
Sure.
So then what happens is somebody gives you an idea, you go, I've done it 10 years back, didn't work out. Let's try my way. Right?
That's not what you've done, is it?
That will never work. They will run. They'll be there for 5 years and they will run because there's no growth path.
Yeah.
They're not empowered. Their voice is not being heard. So I typically let people lose. If at the same time, understanding from a business perspective, there is something called strengths finder.
Yes.
So you associate people with the right jobs, right?
Yeah.
So when I get the trust that, all right, this person can handle it, can actually do a better job than me, you let go.
Right. You honor those strengths.
And people will fail. I have failed I have failed so many times, right? You need to make sure that you don't penalize them for that.
Yeah.
There's a learning that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you run a business, like a semiconductor business, projects can go south because I take chances on people. It's a good balance between getting people ready, growing them, empowerment. At the same time, the success has to be there.
Yeah. So failures are a part of that journey towards success.
So when you grow them, you let them loose on things that are not going to be earth-shattering impact to business.
Yeah.
Once you see that, all right, they got it, they have the skill sets, I can let them go, you let them go.
Right. Yeah, that's where the empowerment comes in.
If you somebody tells you it needs to be done in 4 weeks, I go, let's give them 6 weeks. Because somebody is learning, right?
Yeah.
I think it's literally that. It's ensuring that voices are heard.
Yep.
Not just them talking and you saying, all right, good for your suggestion, let me do it my way. You truly have to respect and let them own their destiny at times.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You've driven my curiosity to a question that we ask of all of our guests. And it's because these two words, they have a lot of different meaning to different people.
Yeah.
But we've talked about a number of different things just in our conversation. And it's been centered around mentoring and coaching. It's been centered around kind of what your childhood and your heritage and how that allowed you to have a great hunger and a great desire for learning. And then as you progressed, really understanding what the importance was of having a team around you and accepting guidance from people and accepting mentorship from people, becoming a mentor yourself, the way you've poured into the lives of others. If I was to ask you, what does wealth and abundance mean to you? What would you share with everyone? When you think about like true wealth and abundance, what would you say wealth and abundance is to you?
It's not money, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you realize, I didn't grow up here. You have to know, my best friends are the ones that I grew up with back home.
Yeah.
But currently, if you look at that 20 that are my ride or die, 19 are from here.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
19 are from here.
Did y'all catch that? You mentioned it. You mentioned the phrase "my ride or die." The 20 that are my ride or die, 19 are from here.
19 are from here.
Yeah.
Because it's they are there no matter what.
Yeah.
They're not there just for successes. They're there for failures, personal crisis, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They are there.
Is that where you place wealth and abundance at this stage in your life, is with those people and the relationships you have with them?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I mean, I did, I was going through a personal crisis. And then at work, and this is what I was telling my spouse this. I was sitting quietly, and then somebody just walks by, puts like a chamomile tea next to me, and just walks away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so nice. At some points, you're not looking for therapy at work, right? You just want people to be there.
Yeah. That was a simple act of kindness. You mentioned caring and kindness early on in our conversation, of those just being great common threads in humanity.
Yeah.
And here is an example of that.
It's a great example. By the way, business, you have to have boundaries between your personal life and business life.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does get icky if those boundaries get crossed, right? But I think there is that caring of, I got you. And that comes because of that mutual support system.
Yeah. Yeah. Lalitha, this has been outstanding. And what I want to highlight, even in what you just mentioned here, is for all of us to be reminded, it sometimes doesn't take this big, bold act from someone. Sometimes it's the most subtle thing that can make a huge difference in that particular moment for someone. You gave an example of where someone has done that for you. They just walked by, they left some chamomile tea. You also mentioned it where you got to do that for someone else, buying a couple of dumbbells and having it sent to her house, right?
Yeah.
See, it doesn't always take these big, bold acts. Sometimes it's the subtle things, but it requires us knowing people. It requires us investing in relationships with people.
Yeah.
And that's what I've picked up from you when it comes to wealth and abundance is in the relationships of these 20 people and the ride or die nature of that gives you this great sense of wealth and abundance in your life.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope everyone that's listening carries with them. And they say, you know what, no matter what's going on, no matter what the things are that are happening in life, where can I pour into some relationships? Where can I invest in others? Where can I invest in myself? Where can I really develop the long-term nature of the people that are going to be the ride or dies for me? And how am I able to recognize that is what's contributing to my success in life? That is contributing to the meaning that I share in life. And I just want to thank you. Thank you for this time that we've had this morning. Thank you for being willing to share some stories, to be able to share some insights, to be able to share what it's like in the ways that you grew up and what it is to be Indian American, and way to bring some of that into who you are and the way you show up, but also just those common threads of human nature. I mean, you've really given us some great gifts here today. And so for all of you, just be reminded there's always so much more to life than money, and come back and join us for any of the other conversations. And if there's any part of Lalitha's story that you feel connected to, or that you know someone else will connect to, guy or lady, please share it with them. Allow Lalitha's story to have the greatest impact that it possibly can. And that is my hope that comes out of our conversation, is there's going to be someone else that listens to this, and they're going to be able to experience life in some ways that you got to experience life. And they're going to have some of those same stories of where they poured into someone and someone poured into them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
This has been a joy.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the More to Life Than Money podcast with your host, J.W. Rayhans, financial advisor, jw@rayhansfinancial.com. Guests are not affiliated with or registered with Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. Any information provided by guests is in no way related to Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, or its registered representatives, unless otherwise noted as a representative of Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. The opinions contained in this material are those of the author and not a recommendation or solicitation to buy or sell investment products. This information is from sources believed to be reliable, but Cetera Wealth Services, LLC cannot guarantee or represent that it is accurate or complete. Securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, doing insurance business in California as CFGAN Insurance Agency, LLC, California Insurance License Number 0644976, member FINRA/SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. California Insurance License Number 0M15552. The views depicted in this material are for informational purposes only and are not necessarily those of Cetera Wealth Services, LLC. They should not be considered specific advice or recommendations for any individual. Neither Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, nor any of its representatives may give legal or tax advice. 313 North Gilbert Road, Suite 200, Gilbert, Arizona 85234.